Hi everyone, and welcome to episode of... Try again. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 111 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, May the 14th, 2022, and it's a nice day out. It's probably in the low 70s, a little bit muggy, overcast. They've been threatening rain off and on for the day, but right now it's just overcast. No rain right this moment. It's a bit later in the day today when I'm filming this. I just got home an hour and a half ago, and I'll talk a lot more about that at the end of the podcast when I just do my random yakking about random stuff. So if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you like it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to. I'm so happy to have you back here again. First things first, I got it chopped. I'm gonna put a before and after picture of the back. The after picture looks a little bit wonky because it was just straight. After they had cut it, they didn't do anything with it. I didn't do anything with it after that, but I got it cut. It's all kinds of layers, and a little bit of curl has come back. I don't have curly hair. My hair is relatively straight, but as I'm finding as I'm getting older, when it's a bit shorter, it has a little bit of a wave in it. It's not noticeable when it's long because the weight of the hair just kind of pulls on it. So anyways, I finally got it done Wednesday afternoon, and I love it. I love it. It's so nice. I can just get out of the shower, rub it dry a little bit, and go. There was like zero styling on this, zero product, nothing. Nothing. After I got out of the shower this morning, it's just wash and go, and that's my speed. I do not have the patience. Nah, I do not have the patience to do any fancy stuff with my hair. Never have, probably never will. So that's the update on my hair. It's gone. The girl who did the cut wanted to experiment with a different style of doing a haircut, so I'm like, if I don't like it when she's done, it'll grow back. And we donated all my hair, so I'm gonna put a picture of the donation, my little ponytails. So they're long. She said it needed to be at least 10 inches, and she said easy, well over 10 inches of hair to donate. So they're sending it off someplace. I don't know the name of the place they're sending it to, but it is one of the places that make wigs, and they do not make the person who buys the wigs pay for it. Whereas some organizations where they do donate, or where they accept hair donations, make them into wigs, and then the people who buy the wigs the people who get the wigs have to pay for it. I don't remember the names of the different places, but my hairdresser said that where they send it to, they do not charge. So I'm good with that. I'm happy that no one will be charged for hair that I'm just giving away. So I'll finally start talking about knitting. There probably won't be a lot of knitting that I'll talk about today. I've got more stuff I'm gonna natter about and yak about at the end, but I made it into round 5 of Sock Madness 16. I'm going to round 5. I can't believe it. I finished my round 4 socks on Friday, a little before lunchtime. It was probably about a little after 11. Got the email sent off, and I got the last spot on my team Beethoven. So I just squeaked in with the last spot. So these are the Strawberry Martini socks, and this is a pattern by Jackie Goulbourne. Goulbourne? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I'm sorry. So here they are. I like them. I think they turned out really nice. I'm going to take it off the sock blocker and put it on one of these fancy ones. It's an old case of Coke Zero, and I just cut out the rough shape. So I want to show you down the front and the back of the sock without, so you can see the pattern, because that's where the most of the pattern is. It's harder to see that detail when you look at the side view of it. Almost there. So it doesn't quite fit on here perfectly, but that's okay. So there's all kinds of really cool details here. On the cuff, there's these little details, which is really neat. Then along the front, you have this pattern going along on the front, and there's a bauble in the first three. And then that pattern, same pattern, continues down the front of the foot, past the ankle and the foot. So the baubles were optional on the foot, but they were required on the front of the leg, down the first three. I did the size medium, and they fit nicely. I still have to tuck in the tails. I didn't have time to do that, and I'll get that done later. So it has a neat little detail down the side here. There's all kinds of really cool little details on these socks. I really like that. And the back is a little bit different. It has 4 baubles. And each of these baubles they're done using a crochet hook. And I think they look really cool. I like them. It has, I think they said it was a strong heel. So there we go with that. And then a fairly regular wedge toe on here. So there we have it. My Strawberry Martini socks. They're not very strawberry looking. They're underripe strawberries, I guess, in green. The yarn I used is my own hand-dyed yarn. It's one of the skeins that I dyed earlier during Sock Madness, and I think it worked out well. It's a light enough color that a lot of the lace and bauble and different details shows up nicely. So I'm glad with that. I'm going to put it back on the other sock, the regular sock blocker now. Or maybe I'll just do this after. Maybe not. Maybe I'll subject you to this. So these were, like I said, they were really fun knit. It took me a little while to get through the pattern. As fun as the pattern was, it had a lot of detail. There was specific detail you had to pay attention to on the charts all the way through. A lot of the detail was on, you had to pay attention to every row on the chart. It's a different chart down the back as down the front of the sock, and I just found I had to really pay attention to what I was doing with my knitting. And I missed out or was slowed down over several days of knitting at the end of the school semester. I had my final grading to finish. The pattern came out last Wednesday, and I had all of my classes had their final materials and final papers and things all due the end of the day Wednesday. So I got a bit of time to knit on Wednesday, and then the majority of Thursday I spent grading. Friday I had several things I had to be on campus for. Saturday was graduation, so that tied up a bunch of my time. Sunday was church, tied up some more of my time. So I missed out on a goodly bit of my knitting time. Work. I gotta do the work part. So I was afraid that I might not finish, or might not finish on time, because they did take me, I put in a lot of hours knitting on those socks. And some of it I had to really focus and pay attention to what I was doing. Like I was saying with the charts, there was a lot of detail I had to pay attention to. And then we were away from home for a couple days at the end of the week. We left on Thursday mid-afternoon and just came back we left late morning. And so I'm just distracted by the fell outside. Sorry. So basically all my knitting this past week has been on my strawberry martini socks. I did around 1.5 rounds on my Empress top, and I'll show you that next week, because I hopefully will have a little bit more to show you by next week. But I got a round and a half done on that, a little bit last night and a little bit this morning. But I've done virtually nothing else knitting wise except these socks for the past week. So not a lot of knitting content to show you today. Sorry. Next week I hope to have more work to show you on my Empress top. Hopefully I'll have time to work on the other, it's in the living room, my other granny stripe blanket. And I should hopefully also be able to show you the beginnings of round 5 for Sock Madness 16. I don't know when that will start, but it could be, it should be sometime this week coming up. The round 4 doesn't finish until potentially sometime on Wednesday. I forget what time the pattern came out. Sometime in the morning, I believe. Late morning, mid-morning. I'll put that information over here for you. So the pattern came out last Wednesday, and at the latest it will end sometime this Wednesday coming up in the morning. But right now there are, out of all 26 teams, there are only, when I last checked an hour ago, there were only 7 spots left to fill. The majority of those were all on one team, on Team A, but who knows if the rest of the people knitting the last 7 might be knitting like fiends over the weekend and have lots of spare time. So they might all finish by Sunday. So if all 7 spots fill up before Wednesday, when the 2-week time window is up, then round 5 might start sooner. Otherwise, round 5 will start sometime after Wednesday morning, or whatever time on Wednesday the 2-week window finishes. So I'm curious to see what the next pattern will be like. I'm curious what kind of materials we will need. I think the last 3 rounds, there's only a total of 7 rounds. So we're moving on to round 5. So for round 4, the fastest 16 people on each team advance. And I managed to get spot number 16 on my team, which was Team B. The next round, round 5, the fastest 8 people advance. So I don't know if I'll make it through round 5. I don't think I've ever made it past round 5. I think I've made it in all the years I've done Sock Madness. I think I've made it through until round 5. This will be, I think, the 3rd time. I'm just going by memory here, but I don't think I've made it out of round 5. I think I've been eliminated in round 5 each time I've made it into round 5. So we shall see. Who knows? It all depends on what the timing is. I don't have a ton of commitments coming up over the next week or 2. So that might work to my favor. It might not. Who knows? The other people might also have a ton of spare time in the next couple weeks to beat me and get into round 6. We shall see. Either which way, if I don't make it to round 6, that's fine. I'll happily cheer on my teammates into the next few rounds. So round 5, 8 of us will advance on each team, and then round 6, only the fastest person on each team will advance into the final, which is round 7. So I have no inkling that I will ever make it into round 7 competing. I don't think that'll ever happen, but we shall see. And then if that's the case, I don't think it's at all possible that I would ever win the whole thing. There's people that can knit a crazy complicated pair of socks in a day or 2. I don't know how they do it, but that's the way it is. So that's it for my knitting content, which was actually just a lot of me rambling about all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna yak about some things that have been going on this past few days. The hubby and I went away for a couple days. Like I said, we left on Thursday early mid-afternoon, and we went and stayed at a small cabin in West Virginia. It's only about an hour, just a drop over an hour drive from where we live in the southern part of Pennsylvania. So we just go through the last part of Pennsylvania, then we go through Maryland into West Virginia, and then we're pretty much there. It was not far from Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. So on Thursday we just sat and relaxed at our cabin, and just that was our main goal for this little getaway, is just to relax. And I knit and knit. So we just had quick supper. We just brought groceries because the cabin had like a regular kitchen, living room with a fireplace, the bathroom, and a 1-bedroom in the cabin we had. So it was just perfect for the 2 of us. And so we had supper Thursday evening. I probably knit until about midnight on Thursday night. And that there was still, at that point, when we got to the cabin, there were 4 spots left on my team. When I went to bed, there were 2 spots left on my team. And I was worried that I might not make it, but I was going cross-eyed. And I still had, at that point, when we got to the cabin, I had one sock was completely done. The other one I had done the heel turn, and I still had to do the rest of the foot plus the toe. So Thursday evening I got about halfway down the foot, but I was just I was going cross-eyed, and I knew I was going to start making mistakes and start messing up. So I hit the hay. I didn't set the alarm. I thought I'll just get up when I get up. If I overslept and missed one of the last 2 spots, so be it. I woke up about 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And I got up, made myself a cup of tea, and start knitting. The hubby slept till like 9 or 9:30, so it was nice. Nothing else to focus on but my knitting. So I knit like a fiend all morning. I checked partway through the morning, there was one spot left. So I was like, yikes. So kept knitting, finished just a few minutes after 11, took all my pictures, got my Ravelry page updated, and then sent in my email. Oops, siren's coming. Anyway, so I sent in my email about 10 after 11, settled down, hubby and I got some stuff together for lunch, and it was good. Actually, on Friday morning, he made breakfast for me, brought it over to where I was sitting on the sofa so I could just keep knitting, and I just took a quick break and ate some breakfast. He's very supportive of my crazy knitting. So I got the response back about 10 till noon that I made it through. So I was like, I got the last spot. So I was able to relax, and so we packed up and we drove into Berkeley Springs for the afternoon. By that time, there's some storms going through, so we'd get a band of raining so hard, and then it would settle down, and then it would rain some more, and then it would settle down. So my husband had found this place that he knew I would love, and that he had not so much zero interest, but someplace he really couldn't spend much time. It is a place, it's a cat cafe, and it's basically a large Victorian style house that at this time they had, I think she said 34 or is it 35 cats just roaming all over this house. And you went in, you paid, they called it a cafe, there was no food, no drink. You just went in, you paid, I think it was you paid $10, and you could spend as much time as you wanted going from room to room, area to area, and playing with the cats and petting cats and spending time with the cats. My husband is allergic to cats, so he had no desire to go there. So once we got parked, waited till a band of rain went past. I went into the cat cafe, and he wandered around and found another non-cat cafe that actually served coffee and stuff. So he went and had a little snack and had himself a cup of coffee while I played with the cats. And it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. There was one cat, I'm gonna put a picture of him here. If the hubby wasn't allergic, this little boy would have come home with me. Oh, he was such a snuggle bug. Oh my goodness. They had, on the main floor, they had all of the adult cats. And then up on the second floor, they had two rooms. One was, they called it the shy room. And they were, I think I noticed there was 4 cats in there, but they were very timid cats. And one of them, if you moved, he'd take he or she, I'm not sure what it was, take a couple steps and back underneath underneath the piece of furniture. So the cats that were in there are very timid. And then the other room is the kitten room. Kittens and teenagers. So there's one adult there, but she is heavily pregnant. That cat is. The kittens are going to be coming soon. They have a 24/7 webcam and a YouTube channel. So the place is called, I probably should have said this earlier, the place is called Give Purrs a Chance. And that's the name of, I'll put it down at the bottom. But you can watch in the kitten room and you can see some of the cats playing in there. So the cat I fell in love with was in the kitten room. He was one of the teenagers. And he was up in like one of those little cat, whatever you call them, the cat condo thing. He was sleeping up on one of the higher levels. So it was at about chest level. So yeah, chest, tummy level, thereabouts. So I was just petting him and talking to him, and he'd sit there and he'd stretch out and he'd put his paws against your body and start kneading. But at one point he stood up and he went to put his paws towards my chest, so I'm gonna coax him over, but he put his paws up on my shoulder and he snuggled up his face up into my ear and into my neck and purred and purred and purred. Oh my gosh. I could have taken that little boy home with me so easily. He was so beautiful. He's a solid black cat. I love black cats. Absolutely love black cats. And he was just the sweetest thing. But it was such a fun place to visit. I absolutely adored it. It was so much fun. So I finished up in there, went and hunted down the husband in another non-cat cafe, and we went out, found some place to go out for supper, and then we came back to our cabin, had a fire in the fireplace again in the evening, just had a nice relaxing evening, watched some TV, and just relaxed. It was a really nice getaway. It was very low-key, very calm and relaxing and quiet. It was wonderful. It was really wonderful. I had such a nice time. I would go back there in a heartbeat. I would happily stay there for a week, and I don't care if I didn't go anywhere. Well, I'd probably go for a visit or two to the cat cafe. It was about a 20-minute drive from the cabin into the middle of Berkeley Springs, where the cat cafe was. But it was so nice. It was such a nice time. And we got back home. The husband had to do a few things at the church, so we stopped there, and then we just got home and got some laundry started to get my cat clothes that had cat fluff on them. Got those in the laundry so that they wouldn't bother his allergies, and then get filming. So once I have the editing and things done, I'm going to get going on my Empress top and hopefully have some more to show you guys next week. Alrighty, I think that was enough yammering on about random stuff that you may have zero interest in. We shall see. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me this week. Take care, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.